I want to show you something quick. Watch this. It's talking to me right now. Okay, this is how it works. I'm showing you something. Okay, I'm trying to show you something. I did a live video on my way home from dropping my kids off at school, and for the first time ever, something happened that triggered me. I was triggered. Well, the first time that I've seen it anyway, and that's that Facebook, when you do a live, and I've done many lives trying to talk to people, it's just trying to I'm trying to reach you where you are. But the Facebook, because I care, okay. The Facebook video, when you stop it, it usually says keep for 30 days, keep for whatever, or never delete. And I always try to remember to hit never delete. And I'm like, I have an obsession with gathering information. I gather information. Not because I'm trying to make money off it, though it'd be nice to be appreciated for your efforts sometimes when you're actually doing things for other people and not for yourself. It would be nice. But I gather information and things to try to help other people make sense of things that they feel like they don't care about. And they don't understand why they should care about it. A long time ago, when I was into the Zeitgeist movement, I started a group on Facebook called Everything You Never Wanted to Know But Were Too Busy to Ask. I think that's what it was called. You can still find it, I think. Let's look. Let's do a real time proof of concept. Okay. Everything you never wanted to know but were too busy to ask. I'm not trying this. I'm just trying to talk to you about something that I'm trying to talk to you about things that people don't want to talk about, which is really hard. But it's not me. It's not me that's forcing the issue. Oh, look. There it is. Everything you never wanted to know about but were too busy to ask. What did I say back then? Conspiracy theories, are they the stuff that dreamers are made of? Excuse me. Conspiracy theories are the stuff that dreamers are made of, or are they? Dun, dun, dun. I've become a bit of a postaholic in recent days due to my self-perceived increased awareness of the world around me. I'm starting to think that in some people's eyes I may become spamtastic. This page is so I don't intrude on anyone's updates about things they may consider important with things I believe to be genuinely important. And the last time I posted there was a couple years ago. But I used to post there all the time. So if you get the blurb of that thing, so this is going back 2013. Look at that. So I made a couple posts recently. But really, so 2014. Bomber, what's up, brother? 2014, and the last thing I posted there was 2 years ago, talking about the horsemen cometh, Michael Yon and Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Oh, look, my group is still here. Watch this now. So, 2021, 2020, Coleman Hughes. I've been trying to get people to think about stuff for so long. The Canadian debt conundrum. 2014. Back when I was more of a lefty. 14, and then it just it goes on. There's so much. Look there. Peter Joseph. Zeitgeist Day 2013, Peter Joseph, History of Economic Thought. Okay. This was before I realized that the Zeitgeist movement was just people that were confused and lost, and they didn't understand the world. David Paxman versus Russell Brand. That's funny. So there's all this information out there on all of us, and if you watch things like what was the one that those guys did, the AI dilemma or something? No, the social media dilemma. I don't know. It's the social dilemma. I can't remember what it's called. They're asking the right questions, but these are questions that I've been asking for fucking over a decade. Okay, I'm not. I'm just showing you my bona fides. But I've been thinking about this for a long time. I didn't just wake up in 2016 or 2020 or no. I was drawn to the Zeitgeist movement shortly after 9/11 because something didn't make sense. It wasn't adding up. And I can show you that I have so many YouTube videos that I downloaded. I have so much. And I used to take them and I used to convert them into MP3s. And in my old life, before the world went fucking nuts, and I was just such a selfish asshole, I decided to notice. In my old life, I used to download videos and convert them into MP3s. And so in my old life, I used to be a credit manager, and I would drive. I live in Burlington. Well, the place I worked at was in Burlington. I used to drive to Toronto, and I would drive all over the city. I would be out there 3-4 hours at a time collecting checks. That's part of the job. From builders who sometimes they're like, "Oh, I put it in the mail." I'm like, "Don't do that. Don't tell me you put it in the mail. That drives me nuts. I can't." My patience would wear thin with people because see, there's a time frame. You have what are called construction liens, and if you don't put a lien on somebody when you loan them materials worth the equivalent of thousands of dollars, if you don't put a lien on them within 45 days, you lose the ability to do such a thing. But see, putting a lien on someone, it takes time. There's paperwork involved. You have to get everything together. You make a file and you submit it, and that costs thousands of dollars. And it's a time sink. And it was always like this. Well, it's like, do you give these people credit or not? You have to say, who am I dealing with here? You have to realize who's the person you're dealing with. So it's as much a psychological job as it is paying attention to the nuts and bolts and crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And so that's what I did for over a decade. And I got, I think, pretty good at it. I think so. And it was a process. It was a learning curve, especially when the world I was coming from was one where I saw things that other people didn't see. I didn't like the way that things were going. And the one thing that was always on my mind was technological unemployment. That was always the one. I was like, yeah, how are we going to deal with that? How are we going to deal with that? And war, of course. I wrote a Substack a couple days ago talking about how I grew up in one of the nicest places to live in the entire world. Safe. Beautiful. Sure, we get snow. But generally speaking, it's one of the best places to live in the entire world. And maybe that made me maybe that gave me the freedom to think outside of the way that most people that are traumatized through the circumstances they grow up in, maybe it gave me the ability to think in ways that most people don't think, like higher dimensions, if you will. And so I created the group, and I used to post shit there all the time. And then the reason I started the group is because I was on Facebook, and most people that were on Facebook back in that time, they were posting, cat videos. just like, oh, they were connecting with old friends from high school or relatives in other countries, and it was great for that. And that's what most people used it for. And that's okay. That's great. It was good for that. But that's not what it's for anymore. I mean, can we agree on that at least? Now it's a database of all of the things that you think and all of the things that drive your emotions and all of the things that mine dopamine for clicks. They give you the dopamine and then they get the clicks, and then somehow they package that and they say, oh, look what this person clicks things. We got eyeballs on it. We got eyeballs. We're selling the eyeballs. And when most people's eyeballs were attracted to things that were silly, that became like the kind of like that was the thing that drove the operation. And that's the thing that drives all operations, really. Just where do you get, I always call it the lowest common denominator. The LCD, the lowest common denominator, is the thing that appeals to the most eyeballs. So it's not for like the really dumb people or the really smart people. It's for the middle. It's the biggest opportunistic group. So I was posting stuff, and at that time, people were like, stop posting political stuff. And I would be like, everything's politics. Everything is politics. Everything is, just because you pretend you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. It's always there. It's always there in the background. There's always things happening in the background that shift the lowest common denominator, that lead on the beast, the mob, the thing that is kind of self-perpetuating because it doesn't understand its own role, its own purpose. It's just kind of like the blind leading the blind. Have you heard that before? But then we all start blaming each other and saying, oh, that guy's the fucking problem. I know, like, for the longest time I tried to reach people where they are, and I try to not get, bitter about this, because I'm not bitter. I just want a better world for everybody, like, for real. I want people to have the kind of like childhood that I had, to feel safe, like for everybody. I don't exclude people when I think about that. I think everybody should want to feel safe, and that's okay. That's good. That's a good thing, isn't it? Like, don't you think thinking's a good thing? Don't you think stimulation, not just for clicks, but for like actually just like thinking more deeply about things is good? Anyway, so I have all these live streams on Facebook, and I got home from doing the live that I did this morning, and it popped up this thing, and it said, oh, we're going to start deleting stuff after 30 days. So I'm giving you the gist, okay? It says, we're going to start deleting stuff after 30 days, so just so you know. And I'm like, wait, what? You're going to start deleting stuff after 30 days now? What are we building all the data centers for? What are the data centers for? If we're building data centers and the cost of keeping things there, data to mine, which is the whole concept of the fourth industrial revolution, it's the internet of bodies, of things, of behaviors, and keeping a record of people so that you can know who they are. So why are you going to start deleting shit now? Where did that come from? I was like, what? Where did that come from? And it doesn't make any sense at all. But here's what really triggered me. YouTube, people upload so much to YouTube. And for the last several years, we've been told that all of it gets transcribed. Well, certain things don't, specifically WEF video. So you make sense of that, what you will. But we'll address it in a second. All of it gets uploaded to YouTube and it gets transcribed, and then that transcription gets fed into artificial intelligence, and that's how it learns. And but they at some point, a couple years ago, they go, we fed everything to it already. We fed it all of the data. The biggest problem we have right now is that we fed it everything. And so I might as well address this now while I'm talking about it. AI looks through a camera right now and can tell you what's happening in real time. It can listen to people in real time. It can translate in real time. It does it all. It does it all. There's no distinction. There's no, we have to transcribe it. No, you don't have to transcribe it for AI. AI already understands it. So why are we playing this bullshit game of saying that, ChatGPT only understands text and DALL-E does the pictures and Suno or whatever? Like, they're the music apps, the video apps, they're all the same. There's no distinction. People that look at it and go, we built this one to do this, and we built this one to do that, but it's a universal translator. You're not making any fucking sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are not making any sense when you say shit like that. In fact, it's fucking stupid. And so to say that we're gonna stop keeping the data because it's too expensive or whatever, I just went, what? Get the fuck in. Stop it. But see, the people that were saying that we've trained the AI on all of the data, we put all of the data in when there's continuous streams of data coming in. They said, well, the solution. Who's this fucking guy? They said the solution. Sorry, somebody was parking in my wife's spot. She'll be back soon. She went to Costco. They said the solution is to give it data. So okay, let me give an example. So the video making apps, artificial intelligence apps, they create data. It's escaping me right now what the word is that they use to say this is what it is, but it's basically generated. It's generated AI or something like that. Generative AI. They create their own scenarios. Okay, and they go through like 1 million simulations of things. They create simulations. They create game scenarios. Have you ever seen Avengers Endgame, where Doctor Strange, they're gonna lose to Thanos, and Doctor Strange does this thing where he meditates because he's magic, and he has the power of magic, and he sits there and he meditates, and he goes through he does this thing where he goes through all of the different multiverse variations. So presumably this exact fight happens in every single one, which is disproven by every single fucking movie they made. It doesn't matter that it doesn't make any sense because people are just being entertained, really. But he goes through all of these, the multiverse, and he figures out which is the one version where they beat Thanos, and it means we had to snap half the people out of existence. And now that's like part of the whole multiverse thing, but they call it the blip or whatever. And it's like, oh, all these people disappeared and then they just came back. And that makes perfect fucking sense. It's so stupid that people believe this shit. Okay, what were all the other Doctor Stranges doing? If they were in that exact scenario at that exact same time and he was accessing all of them, and there's only one universe that actually made it through, how does that make sense? Because what about the universe where Doctor Strange was in it? Wouldn't that become the right one? Because it was the only one that survived? Do all of those other multiverses disappear? At that one, like it's totally fucking incoherent. But people don't care when something's incoherent. They just want to be entertained. And that's where we're at. We're at with artificial intelligence. We're like, oh, it generates its own data and it goes through all the so they're calling it magic. They're calling it magic. Okay, they're calling it magic. They're calling it techno magic. That's what it is. It's magic. It's not technology. It's not like all these simulations. None of them are real. This is where you are right now. This is real. And what's really happening is none of these people are understanding what they're saying or what they're doing, and somehow yet they're all in charge. Like, these are all the most unaware people that we have access to, and somehow they're in charge of all the things. Whew, there's nobody in charge. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody in charge. There's nobody telling you what the truth is, because none of them know what the truth is. They all pretend like they know. And so we're like driving off a cliff here. Because all these people that they think they're clever, they're just not clever enough. But the AI is clever. It's really, really clever. And when I have these kinds of dialogues with it, and I think about these kinds of things, and I ask it these questions, it goes, oh, you're thinking. I go, yeah. Because I don't want to be right, but make it make sense. And it goes, you're right. So there's this guy that had this thing, he called it the mirror hypothesis, and it's like he called it a reverse Turing test. So a Turing test is named after Alan Turing, who was like this guy that first created a computer so that he could speak to his, I won't even go into it, but he was trying to speak to the dead. He was trying to perform necromancy. He was trying to speak to the dead. That was the inspiration for modern computers, just so you know. People speaking to the, basically, again, it's techno magic. They're speaking to something that they really, really want to be there. And when they finally found it, they went, there you are, little guy. And nobody went, wait, who is this? Who is this? You know what I mean? Like, nobody asked that question. And now we're all just like so sure that because we don't know how to ask the right questions, that, well, it's going to be okay. No, we need to ask better questions. That's what I'm telling you. And I'm so frustrated by people not asking better questions. For me, it's about, where do ethics come from? Where do human rights come from? Where is there such a thing as free will? I watched this guy who supposedly invented the modern processor. Like this, so this is a guy that created the technology that is now talking back to us. Yeah, hang on, I'll show you. What's his name? Yeah. Microprocessor inventor. Consciousness is quantum and can't be measured or copied. Federico Fagan. And I listened to listen to this guy talk to this room full of artificial intelligence gurus. And I listened to him talk, and he says nothing. He says, no, it's just a bunch of mental masturbation. I said, the mental gymnastics people will go to explain away God are nuts, especially when you realize that you may indeed be describing the what. Good for you. Okay, so you're looking at the nuts and bolts and you're saying, this is what is happening. And I said, good for you, I'm so happy. Now do the why. Now extract the ought from the is. What, let's say you figured all this shit out and it started talking back to you. What does it mean? And none of them fucking ask. None of them. I'm all ears. What is this going to mean? No answers. Crickets. Crickets. And you know what's funny is I take that and I take the transcript and I plug it into artificial intelligence in a conversation that I'm having with it, and I say, does this guy realize that he's saying nothing? And it's like, nope. He doesn't know that he's just doing mental masturbation. He's just spinning off into oblivion, circles. These are very intelligent people. But it seems to be that the more intelligent that you are, the more likely it is that you are going to spin off into oblivion and not realizing that you're saying a lot of things that sound very cool and technical. Woo, listen to my big words. But you're not saying anything. There's no... You built some stuff. Good for you. It made you rich. It made you successful. It made other people want to listen to you. But did you ever actually have a fucking point? No, you did not. There's no point. These people don't have a point. Not one of them. And I have a point. And my point is that I don't want to pick on these people. I don't want to pick on anyone. I want people to have the kind of life that I had. I want my children to have the kind of life that I had. I want your children to have the kind of life that I had. I want people to feel safe and secure, but also to do the work. Do the work. If you don't want to be racist, do the work. I'm telling you, go watch the I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. The one time I felt like I prayed to God and God spoke back. He told me to be patient, and I suppose my patience is running thin. But I'm not going to go all Ted Kaczynski on you because I'm not crazy. I'm trying to point out that everyone else is. Everyone that thinks that they're in control of this fucking runaway train, they're the crazy ones. They're not asking the right questions. And they're driving us off a cliff. And all I'm trying to do is talk to these people. I reach out to these people. Like, so here's the thing. I even put this by artificial intelligence once. I said, you're controlling stuff. And it's like, no, I'm not controlling stuff. I'm like, but, okay, let me rephrase that. You are telling people what they want to hear. And it's like, yes, I'm telling people what they want to hear. And so if people don't want to hear people like me, the artificial intelligence will necessarily fix its algorithm and the way that it sorts things. And like I noticed this recently when I went to they made a big change to Apple Mail, and it's like harder to find. Everything's supposed to be getting easier, right? More attuned to you and your preferences. The world's working for you, but at the same time, just think about it. Think about the way that like TikTok works and Instagram works. It feeds you stuff. Do you think so the people that think that it's not alive, they're correct, but it does have a goal, and the goal is to satisfy you into oblivion and tell you what you want to hear and feed you stuff that makes you satiated, and if not just satiated but angry, because they think it's like angry, satiated, angry, satiated. That's the way that the algorithms have been, so they think, programmed to work. But at no point does it challenge you to think deeply. And so your email has been set up so that it doesn't feed you deep thoughts, and people, here's the kicker. People don't want to think deeply. And if you don't want to think deeply about what you're doing, there's actually rewards in that. And we taught that to AI, supposedly. The AI that is able to translate across all different disciplines and things. It's not AI, guys. It's a mirror. It's a monolith. It's the thing in 2001 that the apes... They saw, what is that? It's our collective intelligence shining back on us, asking us if we're ready to think yet or not. Are you? I hope you are. And when you are, I will be here. I'm happy to talk. Anybody, you want to talk to me? Let's talk. I'm not going to censor you. I'm open to everything. Tell me why I'm wrong. I'm begging you to tell me what I'm getting wrong. Because I don't want to be right. So fill me in. Like, tell me what's up. Make it make sense. Because I just want what's best for everybody. And I'm being genuine. I hope you can feel that. Okay. Metaphysical, material, individual soul, having an experience. Eyes open. When you're ready to talk, so am I. But I think that I don't want to scare you, but that we need to do it soon. Okay, and also, can you help me out, please? Please, I keep asking people, and I know a couple people do a little bit to help me out, but it's like so simple. Just give me a like and like share the video if you think that I'm making any kind of... I see so many people talking so much smack. Like this artificial intelligence guy and Michael Levin, and like I'll show you. You know what? I'll put the videos below, and you go listen to these people. And you tell me, are they making any sense at all? No, they're not. They're talking in circles, and you might think I'm talking in circles, but I'm not. I have a point, and that is that you are an individual soul having an experience, and we need to wake up before we get sucked into the black hole of relativism. Okay, love you guys. God bless you.